Welcome to the Mad For It podcast, the boys on the road to Oasis live in 2025. This is James Acaster. This is one of those scientists from Crash Bandicoot, and I'm what curly hair and a moustache you see on TV nowadays. Welcome back.
Welcome back, mate.
How are you guys?
Hello.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Good to see you.
I've been on the hunt.
Yeah.
Oasis news, sniffing around like a truffle pig. Any Oasis news I can find. Tom, you have some news.
Yeah, I've got some news. Yeah. I thought I was going to do the news about Ashcroft's new single and we could lay into him, but maybe we'll save that for the Ashcroft episode.
I think we should do a whole Ashcroft episode.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Really dig into
Ashcroft
him.
to Ashcroft.
And his terrible new song.
All right, I've got soft news and I've got hard fun news. Right, soft news. Villanelle, which is one of Liam's kids' bands, they've got a new single coming out. That's some kind of news that's related.
Is that my boy Lennon? Is that my mate Lennon?
I can't tell the difference. I don't know.
He was starting a band when I worked with him, but they didn't have a name yet, and they played a gig to nobody.
Oh, well, there we are.
And
Now they're
He
playing.
didn't want to put his name on it because he knew people would show up in Pretty Green t-shirt. Good on him.
Yeah, good on them. Why
Well
not?
deserved.
And I've got a really, really juicy cryptic piece of news today. So there's a concept going around the internet that I've discovered that, and I think you're going to like this. You haven't put the glasses on. You're not committed to the thing.
I was just so excited to see Josh. There you go.
Now we can
Episode
start.
complete.
Right, so there's a cryptic thing going around the internet that Oasis are releasing songs of theirs with visualizers on YouTube.
Yes.
But they're not doing them album by album, single by single, track by track. They're doing them kind of randomly.
Right.
The cryptic thing here could be, is this the set list? Once we get 4 weeks down the road.
But
So
isn't the first one Little James?
it's not Little James, you wally. Right, I'll go through them very quickly. Supersonic.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Some might say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense. Stop Crying Your Heart Out.
see.
One. Hindu Times.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's up in the air of that one,
Well,
but
we
yeah.
speculated
up
that'd
in the
be
air.
in there.
And then final one, Lila.
Well,
Yeah.
that's it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think
It's
when
the
they play Lila, it's going to be that sort of 5, 6, 7 songs in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind of just after that initial, like, here's all the amazing stuff. It's like, what stuff people know,
Yeah.
but it's a bit early to let them go at the bar.
Are these lyrics on these videos, or is it just imagery that they're going to be projecting behind them?
I think that's
They're
it,
like
mate.
Windows
Yeah.
98
Yeah, you've
screensavers.
crushed it.
They're getting on their money's worth.
Yeah.
So
Get the
don't
views.
spoil it. Don't look at. You said you didn't want to look at the
right,
set. So
so,
unsubscribe from Oasis and make sure you don't get the visuals spoiled for you.
That's a good one. Well, I mean, yeah, so we'll just, if anyone sees those pop up and they feel the same, maybe that is the cryptic set list. In order, we don't know, but, that would be interesting if they
first one
open
that
Champagne Supernova.
Yeah, I'm like,
A slow ballad to start.
Yeah, cool.
Hi, guys, welcome back. Anyway,
Yeah, I'll slide away on the first. Fuck.
yeah.
It's interesting that's the ones they obviously think are their biggest songs.
Yeah.
They're like, they obviously aren't going to do them for like Little James. So that's them being like, this is what we actually think our biggest and best songs are.
I bet Noel was in bed and he just signed it off. I bet he doesn't know what they look like. I bet he
What's
doesn't
gonna
care
make
what
you
song.
more YouTube money and streaming money than having the songs
Just
that
more
people
surplus
just watch
stuff.
a playlist
Yeah.
of the Oasis set list and then adverts play after
Yeah.
every song. It's like, yeah, you're making money there. Like,
There we are.
God, they're just such a money making machine.
But what are we doing here today?
Well, today we're going to be discussing, but first, before we discuss, I've got to take this shirt off. This is too fucking hot.
What's he got for us? No.
Wow.
Yeah, so one of the highlights of the podcast when I was away. Thanks to somebody may put the effort in.
God.
So, yeah.
So it's a t-shirt. It's a picture of me and Adam, and it says, "Just Google Mad For It podcast." And do you know why I did that? Because I didn't know in the editing thing how to put our social media handles on there.
Tricks of the
So I was like,
trade.
"Oh, just
I like
Google it."
tricks.
I was in the 9th hour of editing, and I was like, "Just Google it."
From the moment he said it, I could see in your eyes, you're like, I'm not doing that.
No,
I'm not doing that.
Summer. If you want to follow us on our social media profiles, they're on screen now, or they're in the description if you're listening on Spotify. So please.
So this is the official Just Google Mad For It podcast t-shirt, which will be available on our online store. It's a Cartel.
Cartel, something like that.
Yeah,
big
one of those
cartel.
ones, whatever kids sell clothes at Etsy.
Well, we're not the only ones with merch out, as you might have seen.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oasis have their first merch drop, which is exclusively through Amazon, which feels very naff.
Yeah.
And also the clothes, which I'm sure will go up on screen because Josh will be editing them
Yeah.
rather than Tom. look awful. They
Yeah.
look so bad.
Yeah, the Lambretta
Yeah.
thing. And it's Nebworth focused instead of the tour or the
Because
albums.
you can watch Nebworth on Amazon.
So
they
it's
just
all
got- they've
linked.
got, like-
Everything's coming
I
together.
wonder if they're going to send
We'll stick to this kind of display.
the
I think.
bootlegs,
the classic.
Yeah, the
original
classics.
cuts.
Hmm.
But do you think they're going to send them up in Blue Origin? The Oasis brothers. Like they might take Bonehead up there with them. It's the Paul Weller, Johnny Marr,
Yeah.
the Oasis brothers. Maybe get Morrissey up there if he's
Yeah,
in the
why not?
space.
If he's in a good mood.
But yeah, but that's it. Amazon owns everything. Amazon will buy the rights to the Oasis music.
Can you get this on Amazon? This T-shirt?
I mean,
It's one of the few items you can't get on
Yeah,
Amazon.
yeah,
Amazon.
you could get it on me printing out the image. That's why it's so streaky. And you see there's loads of yellow shit all over the white shirt. It's because the iron hasn't been used.
Is that an iron? Is that you printed that off and ironed it on the shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah, I was spared no
DIY.
expense.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
tell.
But yeah, so the homemade.
Excellent.
What do you think we should sell them for? I'm thinking like $89.99.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say like $49.99.
Yeah,
I thought it'd be a
like
bit
sub
fair.
60.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Amazon's for your cheap merch.
Yeah, and this is exclusive.
Exactly, no
Yeah.
Vista print here. But basically, it's enough of Amazon. We should talk about what we're really going to talk about today.
Yes.
And it's another album review, album rundown of Dig Out Your Soul,
Here we go.
the final Oasis album. Released in 2008, a year before the implosion, the end of it. The final bit of Oasis we got. This is the last thing of them in a room working together.
Just
make
about
it.
working together.
Yeah.
Just about.
Barely.
But then, yeah,
Tolerating each
it'll
other.
be interesting to hear how that is on the album.
Yes.
Recorded.
Oh, I wish it was interesting.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Spoiler.
Gloves are coming off already. But recorded in Abbey Road.
Brilliant.
That's so funny thing that you two had it booked out in advance.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Oasis forced their way in because they paid in cash, and Abbey Road favour cash over digital bookings. So they're like your Chinese chippy. They cash only. They don't want to pay their taxes, basically. They're like any good business, any strong business.
Noel
Not to
Gallagher's
slander Abbey Road, but
the only guy with a briefcase of cash, isn't he?
yeah, literally, like he's like, oh, I'm friends with Bono. This will be funny. I'll underhand mine him so they can't release How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb too.
On an
That was probably
iPod.
the iPod. Maybe it was a bit before the
No, I
iPod
think
album.
you're pretty close, isn't it?
Yeah,
2008
it's
for
around-
2009.
I feel the U2 one's a little bit later.
Yeah,
A little smidge later, maybe.
because smartphones kind of pushed iPods out around.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was like smartphone, and then they put it straight onto your phone, whatever that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that.
Youth and
yeah.
Young
It, wa-
Manhood
it
or
wasn't
whatever
How
it's
to Dismantle a Atomic Bomb, though. That was
No,
early,
that
wasn't
was
it?
like 2003 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
It's all
like
shit anyway.
the first
didn't
iPod boom.
Yeah.
But yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so on Big Brother Records again, as a previous collaborator, was it David Sarley produced the album? He did
Legend.
Don't Believe the Truth. So
Less so.
Less
what we going into here? But yeah, so should we get started, guys?
Yeah.
it? Yeah, man. Yeah,
Take it
yeah.
from the top, shall we?
Let's take it from the bloody top, and that is Bag It Up. So first track back after Don't Believe the Truth.
Yeah.
What did you think, guys? What were your thoughts?
Well, obviously you're aware I've got a history with this.
Yeah. This is your album.
It is my
Yeah.
album. I think my dad got it for me the Christmas 2008, so not on the money.
Yeah.
And this actually came out the same week as Coldplay's Viva La Vida. So that tells you the state of music in 2000.
Oh, that feels like a
Yeah.
that feels like modern Coldplay, and
Yes.
this feels like
Yes.
old.
So,
That's crazy. Fun.
I had this for Christmas and I listened to it plenty. I had kind of good recollections of it,
Yeah.
but we'll go through from track to track, as you said. Bag It Up, I think they did a classic Oasis where they put a kind of a dud-ish song at the start.
Mm.
They kind of did a 6 out of 10 song at the start where you're like, okay, it doesn't really set the scene for the rest of the album, I feel like. I don't know about you guys.
I thought it was like decent enough.
Yeah.
But no more than
Right.
that. And also, it sounds a little bit like Liam's solo, I thought, as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
I felt that about Noel's stuff, that it was a
Yes,
very
yeah.
Noel solo-y
Yeah.
kind
Yeah,
of thing.
I had the same thought about the later track as well, the Noel track, and it's sort of like maybe that's that influence coming through. But also, it doesn't make sense in that he goes off and does Beady Eye before he then becomes. So he
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
predates Liam's
Yeah.
solo by
Yeah.
years.
Weird,
I
yeah.
think that this is a perfect example of what you're going to get with this album.
Okay.
Literally, like how it sounds. Like the first thing I thought, I was like, this sounds like a Black Rebel Motorcycle Club song.
Yes.
I was like, all right, what's this? And throughout this, it has that consistent sound, which is that kind of like bluesy,
Yeah.
delta rock blues, kind of like you'd have with White Stripes or the Black Keys.
I was going to say White Stripes.
That's how I
someone's-
felt this
someone-
carried throughout it. That was the tone of
Yeah.
this album.
Like groove-based songs,
Yes,
like very like
groove-based
groove
rock
at the
and
front.
roll.
But it's because they got Starkey in. They got Zach Stark,
Exactly.
Starkster.
And that was interesting listening to that. After reading Zach Starkey was in it, I was like, it's very interesting how the drums are on this album, because they
Actual
seem to be
fills.
their own thing versus anything they've done in
Yeah.
any previous album.
Yeah.
Like Zach Starkey's clearly playing in a certain way that hasn't been experienced on an Oasis album. Like
Yeah.
the drums are a part. They're
Yeah.
not just a background and we've just got drums on this because
Yeah,
the song
yeah.
needs drums. But yeah, I felt this first song was sound like Rebel Motorcycle Club. I like the bridge before the chorus, which normally the bridge is there. And I like the harmonies towards the end.
Always the harmonies.
That was it. It was all right. It built up to something.
Yeah.
Like, it had this great big build up, but the ending never came of it. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. It was more so like, this build up's really good, but the song before it doesn't warrant the build up that they had on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it was all right, I thought.
I feel like, again, I think that's prevalent all the way through. You got like the grooves at the front or in the middle, and then they do a lot of things where they'll just stick to the same groove all the way through the song.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't change enough to make it rewarding. It's just like, we came up with one thing, we're going to do it for 4 minutes, and then that's it. So, yeah.
Cool. Right then, the next track, which is The Turning. So, what are we thinking of The Turning, guys?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I think, especially for this album and the quality of the stuff on this album, I actually put 9 out of 10. I like Angry Adam, Angry Liam, and yeah, I just think it's closest to the old stuff we're gonna get. Like, almost definitely, maybe close to the old stuff. Like,
Oof. I mean,
obviously not.
I think
but
it's
compared to the last 4 albums that came before this.
Yeah, I think it's one of the better songs on the album.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It feels a bit like toothless, like lacking cutting edge.
Yeah.
For like, especially, we've talked about like the first track sometimes can be whatever. You're like, okay, right, what have you got now? Like, what's what? And it's like, oh, it's
Really?
it's all. It's like it's okay. It's good.
Yeah.
For this album, though.
It is one of the better songs on the
Right.
album. Yeah, it's in probably the top 4 on the album. I would say.
When driving here, I was like listening to the album again, and it's just more like, this is the first time I listened to this was the first time I've ever listened to the album,
Right.
like ever. So I had no expectation. I'd
Okay,
never
cool.
listened to. So I listened to it maybe more than a couple of times now. But it grew on me again when I was driving here. This song especially, I remember liking it the first time I heard it. Was like, it's all right. Second time I was like, yeah, I like the song. I really do like this song.
I'd agree with that.
I put that it's a focused effort. There's something focused about this album as well. Versus Don't Believe the Truth.
Well, the production's good as
Anything
well.
Before, I felt the production was a bit. It's not my favorite production at all. It's got that same kind of thing that the Liam solo stuff has.
Oh,
It's
okay.
quite. I think that vocals aren't quite there, like quite hollow and
Yeah.
tinny. I thought it might be because I was listening through bad speakers, but I was like, this isn't the vocals like on older stuff's amazing.
Yeah.
But on this, I think there might be limitations to Liam's voice that they.
It's a lot of reverb, but it's a lot of like desert cowboy kind
Yes.
of like Queens of the Stone Age kind
Yes.
of like.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's
it. I think
there's a big
That
influence.
whole rock and roll thing is the whole way through, but it's
Yeah.
American rock and roll. It's
Yes,
no longer
that's
British.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt this was a focused effort. For some reason, it gave me an adult contemporary vibe. For some reason, in the verses,
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. It was like I was like, this is very like, like something like a Dancing in the Moonlight, or like kind of those kind
Nowhere
of
near as good as
bands.
that.
The Turning.
But
Dancing in the Moonlight.
Nice little guitar leads in it, little guitar
Yeah,
solos, and then there's a door sounding organ in it,
Yes.
which is in there. I can't remember. It's like the one on Light My Fire.
Oh yeah.
And that's there.
Like a
But
baroque.
that isn't the first time we hear this one.
No,
so
there's
it
an organ.
comes
There's a
back
big organ
and
in
back
this.
and back. But yeah, I like that song.
Yeah, it's good,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
no better than good.
Yeah, I like it's a good song. Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
Yeah,
It's a
and
good
good
song.
drum fills, like we kind of already said. We're probably going to keep saying, but actual drum fills
Yeah.
that kind of energize the song rather
Yeah.
than just
Yeah.
like an Alan White
And
little
you'll
brush
notice
thing.
that the drum beat is always like doo, doo. There's always like a constant bass drum.
Yes.
And it seems that's Zach Starkey's thing. So everything through it's like a doosh, doosh,
Yeah, it
doosh,
gives it like a
doosh,
heartbeat.
doosh. And it's always like almost through every song of this album.
But I was going to say for a song down the line, but I think if you took a lot of that away, I think this would really lose a lot of its. I think the rhythms and the drums are like keeping this propped up. They are the spine of the
I
album.
thought it's
kind of.
driving this album.
Yes.
Right. It's a driving force.
I
of an
don't know
album.
about the whole album.
not the whole.
I feel the second half.
not-
Sort of
yeah,
comes
yeah.
down about
Yeah.
halfway.
Okay, we'll get to the middle bit where it kind of lulls
Oh,
a bit
does it?
and into some more
Does
familiar
it?
territory. But yeah,
Yeah.
there is a driving force for it. So then we move on to the next one, which was the first single, wasn't it? Unless I'm missing a track.
No, the first
No,
single's Shock of the
Shock of the
Lightning.
Lightning.
Next song's Waiting for the Rapture.
Which
Of
they talk
course.
about the rapture in the turning. They thought they were really clever doing that, but then it's Wait for the Rapture, which is Noel's first song on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this sounds like Oasis in a good way. I think it's
Okay.
like all the better for it.
Okay.
I think it's like, I don't know, especially where it's sort of the ending where it gets a bit heavier.
Yeah.
It was what the previous track, the turning, was sort of lacking. That sort of like, oh, now the heaviness is coming through. Whereas the last one was very like middle of the road sort of thing.
Okay.
I think this is, there are 2 songs on the album which I think are really good, and this is one of them.
Is it really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put like 6 out of 10 for this. The stompy pace, good angry energy.
Yeah.
But this time from Noel, which is
Yeah.
kind of rare. I feel like.
Yeah, that's
He doesn't do the abrasive kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And some great falsetto, which is like, for me, that's a double tick
Mhm.
because, that I missed that from Liam. Noel's taken the mantle there. But I feel like of the 3, I feel like that how we've got in the album, this is probably my least of the 3
Ooh,
so far.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's a bit of a drop
Oh
off.
no,
Yeah, a mini drop off.
a
But
mini drop
But
off.
I struggle
Yeah.
with Noel songs. I find
I
unless
think
they're
I
like
do now,
really.
yeah.
There's some like this is like the one off of I've forgotten the name of it. So it was on Giants, but it's the first Noel song on
yeah, like
Giants.
track 7
I
or
prefer
8.
the second one,
Yes, I know
whereas
exactly
the
what you
first one I didn't like, and it's in the same way as this. I'm like,
Mm.
whatever about this. I put like thumping kind of thing for
Again,
it, same as you.
yeah.
I liked that on it.
Yeah.
It's all right. First Noel song on the album, nothing special is what I thought of it.
I've really lived up to my Noel apologist
Yeah.
reputation here, haven't
definitely, man. Definitely, yeah.
In Noel we
Well,
trust.
I wonder with songs like this, like why couldn't he just give it to Liam? Like why is he? Where's the decision making?
I wonder if it's
Is it just
personal
easier?
lyrics or something that he has
Yeah,
in it. It's like,
maybe.
no, I've got to do this. Or it's like, well, I better get in early because
Hmm.
I can't just be at the end or something. He wants
Yeah,
to be
he
up
kind of
front.
learnt his lesson there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Now to the first single.
Yes.
now to the actual first single, Shock of the Lightning, which is a song that you praised, Tom. That's the one that you won't
Absolute
shut up
banger.
about.
Well, actually, I'm the Out of Time is my absolute all timer, but I love this song. I think this is an absolute banger. This is kind of what the turning was trying to do, but just way better. Big organs, good pace, cracking harmonies from the boys. More like this than the turning would be brilliant. Zach does the proper drum fills, like proper rock and roll drum fills.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a big. Is this the one with he's got the big one
Yeah.
like near the end? It's
Yeah,
like,
and it's like hail it, and it comes back in. It's got oomph. I think after the last like 2 or 3 albums, like just this oomph, and I think a lot of that, as again we're going to keep repeating, comes from the rhythm, comes from the big front rhythms. But it really changes the game. If they had been done this for the last 3 albums, I think it would have lifted it just that little bit more.
Did you think when you first like heard it or when you re-listened to it? Because I've heard the song before, but never properly focused and listened to it. I was listening to it, and it sounds like literally the first few chords in it sound like "Bohemian Like You" by the Dandy
Yeah, a little
Warhols.
bit, yes.
Like the first time I heard it, I'm like, all right, there we go. It's like that
Yeah.
kind of American-y rock kind of thing.
Yeah, I think you've hit
It's
the nail
back
on the
at
head
it.
with that.
But yeah, it's got the more of the 70s organ sound.
Yeah,
like the
big
Doors
organs.
organs there, like.
Yeah,
And then it accents like the end of every phrase, like when like Liam sings in the verse, it's like it goes like "Woo," or something. It's like at the end of that bit, and it's like that was funny. But that organ's really getting it's like they're getting the money from that organ. I tell you that. I put it's an alright song here, but listening to it on the way here, I was like, yeah, this is actually sick.
yeah.
Like my opinion has changed over the 3 listens. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, cool. I like this, and it's surprising because it's not a song that I heard until you were talking about it. I don't think I ever heard it in the wild when it came out originally.
it was on MTV like back when I knew
so-
that's where I got a
I don't
glimpse of
think I
these
had
singles.
Sky when that in like 2008 and 9 anymore,
Yeah.
so I missed out on that
You,
completely.
you could only watch it through Dixon's window, but there was no sound,
Yeah,
so it was just the video.
The video was
It was
great.
even better.
yeah.
What about you, Adam? What do you think?
I like good again. Like I think this is not a bad start to the album.
No.
I think these like first songs, and I would include the next one in that.
Yeah.
But it never massively gets above good. I would say this. I don't know. I to come out with this as like the lead single. Like I think it is good, but it isn't like one of the big singles, even off the lesser albums that they came out with.
I'd say that because I wouldn't have known this was a single unless one of you guys told me. It's like it wasn't something that
It's very
it must have been
forgotten.
on a FIFA game or something like.
I don't know. I think this is
Pro Evolution Soccer. in them
that's the
days.
thing. I think looking at the album as a whole, it's really only This and Out of Time for me that are like absolutely at the top. Like I really enjoy these songs. I haven't gone back to Don't Believe the Truth. Haven't gone back to Mucky Fingers or like whatever. But I haven't like.
Well, it's funny you said that because when I listened to this and I was trying to like just get my thoughts together, and obviously Don't Believe the Truth, I think was the lowest. Well, certainly the lowest score of all the ones that I gave to.
Yeah.
I was sort of like, what is better? Which I'll save for the summing
Yeah,
up.
Yes,
yeah.
please do,
But
yeah.
I did actually go back and listen for that exact reason you had, where it was like, let me go back and listen to like Mucky Fingers and those sort of tracks. So
That's good. I've only got one other note on here that it must have been worth saying because I wrote it down. And I've done this and I've completely gone away. Yeah, it says Magical Mystery in it.
Yep.
Which is a reference to the Beatles.
Love it,
So
don't
I
they?
thought, chuck
Put
that
it
in there.
Well,
It was the obvious one that was there. It's like you're doing like cock rock kind of Black Keysy kind of sounding stuff
yeah,
at the
it's
time.
really like that.
We got to chuck a little bit of Beatles in there.
Well, I read after our Be Here Now review that apparently there's a Beatles reference in every single Be Here Now song. And I pulled 2 out, I think, in our review, but I wasn't listening for the other one.
there's a Beatles reference every single Oasis song.
Yeah, that's not saying much, is it? Yeah.
I couldn't. Yeah, it's like I don't know enough Beatles to
Revolution
know every one
9.
of them. Yeah, exactly. It's like number 8 or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think that's the
Simpsons.
Simpsons.
That's-
Isn't it?
You can play that clip, yeah.
Number 8. Number 8. Number 8.
But yeah. Oh, okay. I think
Well,
we're
we're
happy
coming to
with that
something good now, aren't we?
one. Yeah, I believe it is. I'm Out of Time.
Yeah, I think this is the best song on the album.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you?
I think this is great.
Really?
This is like the only time it's like really great.
This is basically the middle of these 2 songs. It's an 11-track album, so you've got 2 songs, kind of a middle there.
Yeah.
This is the one that sounds like James Bond to begin with. Am I thinking of the right one?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's a
Yeah, it's like a James Bond like kind of thing. You can imagine it's like taken from the theme song, and then they play it throughout the film or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, this song I actually didn't like it all that much first. I've heard it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's grown on me. I do like it, but it's the one that moves away from this kind of American rocky Delta rock kind of thing, and it's like, okay, there's like a different space here.
Yeah, it's more haunting vibe. I thought.
Yeah. Nostalgic.
Yeah.
But which is something they do so well as like Don't Look Back in Anger kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like they've got that little bit of spice that makes them just not like a pop band or a lad band. They I don't know how he does it, but it is genuinely Noel Gallagher's gift is like putting nostalgia into a song. And he absolutely crushed it on this. I think this
Did
is
Liam not write this one?
I don't think so, no.
I think it was on Liam's list
Was
of
it?
songs that he wrote. Yeah.
Wow,
I think he wrote 3
this
songs.
is never.
Need to listen back to.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
The music
touche
video is
then.
him in like a woods with like fairies or something.
Did
He's
we
got
do
like a
this
little
on the
cowboy
Liam's?
hat on or something.
Is this on the Liam's 13? Is that
We've
what
done this one before.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Check out the link in the description to that episode, which you need to watch, Tom.
Yes,
Clearly.
apparently, yeah. Well, Liam did a cracking job on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lyrics are great.
Yeah,
The lyrics are actually are brilliant.
I was going to say, I think it's the best song post to Be Here Now. If you had to
Okay.
take any of those things, maybe Roll It Over.
Come
I think
on.
that's the most insane thing you could possibly said on this podcast ever.
What? Give me a single that's better.
Important to be an idol.
Yeah, it ports to be an idol.
No, you-
Lila, Mucky Fingers. No, but then you've got things like.
Give me a song.
Did you say single?
Name
or-
a song. Just name a song.
Name a song. Oh, Gas Panic is way better.
Yes, yeah,
Gas,
agree.
Roll
way-
It Over.
Hard agree.
Yeah, Roll It Over, I said. That's fine.
and-
But again, that's the emotion of Roll It Over that drags you in.
Little
isn't it?
by Little.
No, come on, give me a break.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's opinions, mate. You can have your
It is
opinion.
opinion. It is opinion. But
Yeah.
I was trying to get a bit of
It's. I think it's
back and forth.
a wild statement, but I accept
is a wild
it.
statement,
I don't want to
thank you,
fall out of it. But
Yeah.
it's a-
Well, I'd like to fall out of it. No, I'm all good, mate.
The one thing I thought about this song is obviously we've talked a lot about the sort of lifting and taking inspiration from the Beatles. Just to play John Lennon in the song at the end, I just thought was like, all bets are off now. It's like, just play him in, making a speech.
Yeah.
And going back to the production, it's so, maybe it was what I was listening on Spotify to it, it's so muffled, you can like hardly hear what John Lennon's saying at the end. And I don't know if that's like over, it's over like
Yeah.
that.
Is
It's
that this
weird,
one?
yeah.
Is the one where there was talking in it and I couldn't figure out who it was?
This is at the
sounded
end
like-
where he talks about like Churchill.
Oh, well, what am I having listened to for like?
That's why you think it's the best song. You're not
Yeah.
listening to this one.
I've been listening to Don't Look Back in Anger the whole time.
But yeah, it grew on me again on the car ride here.
Yeah.
All these grew. It's a growing,
It's a
not a show
grower.
of this album.
It's
I
like
think.
the
Well, the
It's like-
first half maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, certainly.
I think it's a good one, and I didn't think that they played. I was like, what would they play off this album? And I was like, they probably wouldn't play this, but listening to it again, I was like, if they did play this,
It would
people
be
would probably
cracking.
be into it. So
Yeah.
Well, they're going to play Hindu Times if the visualizer thing.
apparently,
Yeah,
we'll have to
the
look
theory.
and see if
Yeah,
they've got
yeah.
any visuals for this one coming out. Because if they are going to play something off it, they're going to play a single. So
I've got one that you'll like before we move on.
okay,
So my mind melts two songs together when I hear this, because it says, "'Cause if I'm to go, in my heart you'd grow," and then my brain goes, "Somewhere I belong," by Linkin Park, which must have been about at least 5 years apart, but in my brain at the same time. So it's the Linkin Park Oasis song.
it is. There's always one. You got to have that link
Gotta have
to
that.
Linkin Park, is there with every artist?
Yeah, I feel like this has got the production attention of a single.
Yeah.
Like, well, this is gonna be a
Yes.
single, so
Yeah.
we're gonna put more glitter, and
Yeah.
it's not just like, oh, just bang a guitar
Do you
song
think
out.
they added this later when they'd finished writing the song and then like, right, we need to get a single, so they consciously wrote this at the end
I'm not. No, I wouldn't
to
say
push
it's-
it out.
Maybe.
like they did with Lila, where it was a demo that they weren't even going to use, and then they
Well,
just
Yeah.
that would
recorded
probably
Liam
be
on.
a fact if that's the truth, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
If that
I
fact
would-
is true, wow,
Yeah,
what a
I'll
fact.
flash it up if there's anything about it, but I didn't see anything about
didn't
it
see
in the
anything
production
about it.
notes.
Should we move on to the worst song anyone's ever heard or written in their whole life?
Okay, and that's Falling Down, is it?
Nope, it's High Horse.
Get off your high horse.
Oh,
lady.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, this song
Wait,
sucks.
Can I just say for the podcast, I have been waiting 34 episodes for you guys to hear this. I remembered Shock of the Lightning. I remembered Out of Time, and I didn't listen to this album during the run through because I wanted it to be like review fresh. But I remembered this since 2009, and this is just this is outrageous, isn't it?
I was,
Rhythm over anything.
I was trying to like find something positive to say about this, and I was like, oh, it might have worked as like a weird interlude on like a better album,
Right.
But that's about the best I could muster for a positive comment. Like, what's going on?
Can I tell you what's going on?
Yeah.
I've got a genuine fact. Do you mind if
Come
I? So we got this song because Liam got married and he was supposed to show up to sing "Stop the Clocks," "Record Machine," and "Come On Outside," but he didn't.
Come on outside.
Yeah, whatever that means. That's what I read today on Wikipedia. So we could have, he could have just left that off.
Yeah.
We could have had possibly three Liam songs, but because he didn't show up to the studio, they scrapped the song because he wasn't there for one day,
Yeah.
and they either wrote or they pulled this one forward.
So they put it out of spite on the album.
Essentially, yeah. And I mean, after what was a great run, first 5 songs, first 6 songs, great run into this dead stop.
Yeah, especially after an okay start of the album, but then like coming off the back of the best song on the album, in my opinion,
Yes.
to then come to this, I was like,
Yeah. It doesn't end, and it's just that rhythm over. Dum, ding, dum,
Yeah.
dum, ding. It's like,
Well,
oh my god, begin.
I've got a funny thing about this because it's back to the American Delta rock,
yeah.
stomp and clap kind
Stomp
of
and
like
Yeah.
clap,
kind of thing there. But it reminded me because when I was at college, I made a joke band with my mate and we recorded a song on our lunch break in the music tech room, and we were called Muddy Rudder. And it was that kind of like kind of like kind of thing. Songs like this. It's like about like New Orleans and stuff.
Oh,
And
nice.
it reminded me of that joke band. This song like that. I was like, yeah, it's just this kind of American like bullshit that just keeps using the same chords and repeats itself.
Doesn't go anywhere.
And it's just so uninteresting and uninspired kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's making me think of a joke band that I did 2 songs of in like 2008, it's not a good
Well, it's
song.
the same time. Did you write this as a third song?
I must have listened to this song and thought,
Yeah.
that's what I want.
That's
That's
what-
the influence behind it.
Yeah,
Completely
hundreds of
forgot
bands
that.
started
You've
because of
rumbled
this
me.
song. Yeah.
Absolutely rumbled. Yeah, like that song's going in the bin. Hopefully they play it when we see him.
my final point on that one is it's just like an oddity.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, it's always
like,
interesting.
where's and now that hearing that backstory, it sort of makes sense. It was like, where's this come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it there on the album? Like, if it was sort of a weird B-side or to like a single, you might be like, oh, they've obviously got their big
Tolerate
single.
it.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's just something like random, just
Yeah.
because you can get away with it. But so odd,
Yeah.
so strange.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Or no.
Should we move on to the next one now?
Yeah,
The third single.
The first single, which is my favourite Michael Douglas movie,
yeah.
Falling Down.
Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
So yeah. I do actually like this song.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
What?
that was good. Yeah.
Oh no,
No.
this is poor.
No, it feels like it should be good, but without the big drum right in the middle of the front of the mix, it would just be another acoustic song. If you took the drums out, listen to it, and it'd just be this weak acoustic song.
I like it. I remember it being on TV and
Yeah.
stuff, and like being on the
So
radio.
you've heard 2 of these songs from the album you've never heard anything from.
Yeah, Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I remember liking this, and I'm like, yeah, this is cool. It's kind of got like it hasn't got that rocky kind of thing that the previous ones have. It's a bit different again, like the other single.
Yeah, it's interesting in that
And
respect.
I like it. Last Oasis single. I like I think it's cool. I think this might be a single that they might play off of this album. It's either Shock of the Lightning or this.
No way do they play Falling Down.
Because I know Noel Gallagher likes this song.
Well, he likes the sound of his own voice then.
So, yeah. But I think, like this, it's the best Noel song on the album. I think.
No, also no way.
You probably no, the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
waiting for
way
the
better.
rapture.
I
But that's
think
not
this
great.
is my. I like this song, but
Yeah,
it's.
fair play.
I like it doesn't sound anything else like the album, really.
Yeah.
It's just like.
This gave me the vibe that if you listen to a High Flying Birds album, when you get to sort of like 4 tracks from the end, where
Yeah.
it's just sort of like, I've got a few good singles, got a couple of the decent tunes. Like, what else can I just chuck on there?
Yeah.
It was very like,
I think with this single as well, it did give me a thought of the whole album in general. This is a band who have nothing else to say.
yes.
Yes.
They have nothing else to say. They're just trying to work out what to make and put out. And that's this song as well is encapsulates that because it's like got nothing really of Oasis, like you're saying. Yeah, I'm thinking about it now, it's more like a High Flying Bird song than anything else.
Yeah.
But it literally has nothing to say.
But I felt that like since 2000 with these guys.
Yeah.
And then, but at least this again, like the production feels more coherent. The album does feel quite coherent in the way that it's all rhythm based, and like this does fit that mold. But it's just like you can't hide a mediocre song under a big rhythm.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting you say that because I think that's what I think it was Noel came out and said at the time, where it was like, I've written about like growing up, I've written about becoming a rock star, I've written about fame, and it's like, oh well, what else have I got to write about? And I think they said, oh, it's going back to sort of like rock and roll roots,
Yeah.
but
Not their rock and roll.
this
not
album
British rock
doesn't.
and
Yeah,
roll.
it does. This album doesn't have anything to say. I think that might like
Yeah.
hit the nail on the head. Where even though there's some tracks I really like it literally has nothing to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the lyrics like haven't stuck with me. I mean, even Out of Time, you would just assume that out of time means like I'm out of time, I'm misplaced. But we've kind of already discussed that before. And like, what the fuck does Shock of the Lightning mean? Like, are you energized by the lightning? Are you pained by
Dead.
the lightning?
He's scared
Like,
by it. Like, oh, that shocked me.
Yeah, like,
yeah,
yeah.
that's close.
So then, falling down. It's like, is that a sad thing? You're falling down? Do I pity you, or
You
is someone else falling
yeah,
down?
you
You're
walking
seeing
around
it
gonna
unfold.
Kill people like Michael Douglas
Yeah.
in Falling Down.
Well,
It's
maybe
all
that's why it's
that ever
there
knew.
in the album, because it's like the album is now falling down.
Maybe. Yeah,
That's it.
That's very
it's an admission of guilt.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm done. I'm giving up. I feel like there's a lot we could talk about, especially about Oasis at this point. But I think we should move on to the next song and
Yes,
save
yeah.
that for
Let's
the
do it,
end.
buddy. Let's do it.
Okay, so the next one, To Beware There. What's that?
To be
To Beware There Is Life. Yeah,
Worst song on the album for me.
it is. Yeah,
no,
it's
it's
enough-
not the worst song.
There are some contenders, but
This-
I think it's so dreary.
Yeah,
I put dreary on the
Yeah,
last
yeah.
4 of these. Yeah, I put Welcome Back Liam after 2 Noel duds, doing the Tomorrow Never Know shtick again. Rhythm up front again, great harmonies on the second verse. Can't hate it because it's so fun in 60s when they do this thing, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's like a experiment.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just do a little fun muck around. It's like a jam thing, isn't it? Like you just jam out.
Written by Gem Archer, this one.
yeah.
Oh,
So maybe
there
that's
we
why.
go.
It's interesting that because Gem wrote it because I felt okay about it. I put the organ must have been expensive that they hired.
Yeah.
I think I made that joke already because they use it all the fucking time on this album. And like back again, it's like maybe Gem was playing it and he's just like, come on, I brought
put
it
up
home.
the phone a bit.
Do you know how
Yeah.
fucking
Heavy
expensive the
that
van
is.
was to get here? Jesus. But yeah, I liked it. Sleazy sounding, kind of 60s sounding kind of
Yeah.
thing. No frills. I like the harmonies. Yeah, and that's basically it.
Again, Eastfield is quota for the album because it's like very lackluster and it's like, what's missing? Oh, like a really 60s thing.
I can't believe.
Well, we don't love it, but it's
yeah,
just
I know,
like,
but
it's
bloody hell, this.
It's kind of fun. If
I
Liam
think
was
it's the
wandering the
opposite of
desert,
fun.
like ding, 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 it's like
Yeah.
saggy desert, doorsy nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think at least with like High Horse Lady, even though it is not very good, there's like, oh, we just tried. They've tried something. They've thrown something at the wall and it hasn't stuck. Whereas this is like, oh, come on. I'd have rather had another like, oh, let's just
Don't
go
say it.
mad.
Don't- oh.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have like something like that chucked in there rather than like, oh, what's.
I think it's kind of refreshing to just have a bit of fun on there.
Yeah.
You know, that was the best thing about their first BDI album was it was like, just play around. You don't have to make the world's best song. It's not Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Just go and muck around, boys. Have a good laugh. And I think that's what Gen brings to the band.
Yeah. I put a note on this as well that it felt shorter than it actually was, even though it was almost, even though it's 4.5 minutes. Because I felt this, I was like looking at this album, I was like, almost every track, not every track, is like 4 minutes long. I'm like, okay. And it's not 4 minutes of new variation.
But you weren't here for Be Here Now, where every song was 9 minutes long. This is like a
It was
welcome
longer,
to-
but I liked that album more than I like this one.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh, yeah,
more.
me
it was
too.
it was
A
9 minutes
lot
of
more.
quality on each track. So.
You could say that.
But it's all right. That's what
It's
I
all
can
right.
say.
It is
It's
all
all right.
right.
You
It is all right.
think less of it?
You think it's the worst one on the album?
Yeah, I think so.
Because of the
even-
novelty factor.
Yeah, even ones that probably are worse songs, at least they'd given them a go.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just like they've aimed for middle of the road and they've not even like
Yeah.
reached mediocre with this one. I think it's pretty poor.
Oh, scathing. Love
Yeah.
it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Right.
Well, I want to see what you got for these like tacked on ones at the end.
Well, this one's featured on the podcast before. I
Yeah.
can't remember if it's in Liam's 13 or the worst Oasis songs written.
I think
I'll
it's-
find out for you, but I'll put that up. But
Ain't
yeah,
got nothing.
this is this Liam Gallagher track,
Yeah.
Yes.
and it's called "Ain't Got Nothing."
Yeah, it's fine. Stampy rhythm. One of my highlights was it's the shortest song on the album.
Yeah.
So it's by far like it's gone. And then this is what I put the note for from earlier, the John Lennon thing. Someone's screaming in the middle 8, but I couldn't figure out if it was one of the boys or if it's like an audio clip.
Alright.
But it sounds like Sesame Street character or a Muppets character. It's like, so I wonder if you had any insight
I
into
can't
that.
remember that.
No,
Like,
I
No,
don't
it was
either.
the only thing that kept me going because it's only 2 minutes. So by 1 minute
Yeah.
30, you're already on your way out.
yeah, it's hard to hear some of the nuances when you're playing it out your loudspeaker on the tube.
Yeah.
Like it's really difficult to hear that stuff. But no, I didn't hear that. But I'll put a little example of it in the podcast.
Yeah, cool, man.
Of that little clip. But yeah.
It was decent. It's
Yeah.
short, which I think that was one of the like pros of it.
Yeah.
Short, doesn't overstay its welcome. Don't mind it.
Yeah.
Don't mind this one.
Yeah, it's like you're like going to some kid's nativity. You know the story of the nativity. And you're
Yeah.
like, right, fucking hell, the third wise man's giving his gifts now. We're wrapping up. This is it. We know where we're at. But yeah, it's nothing special. It fits. Hearing this track outside of this album, I didn't really like it all that much. But hearing it in the context of the album, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Out of that, where I heard it before, it didn't make a whole lot of sense as an Oasis track because I was like, well, this sounds weird when
Yeah,
Oasis sound like this
yeah.
to me. But knowing that it's in this, I'm like, okay, it makes more sense
Very,
in its foundation.
Like, American-y. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun,
Okay,
dun,
that makes sense.
rock
On
and
its
roll.
own, you're like, fucking hell, no
Yeah.
wonder this is on a bad one. He's just trying to sound like fucking cock rock.
Motorcycle Club. It's interesting that of all the bands they could have copied, like Strokes or
Yeah.
Arctic Monkeys, whoever was going up at that time, we went into the Dirty Blues.
Leather boots, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. The piss leather boots.
Because he loved Velvet Underground. Didn't
Yeah.
He? Or he does, whatever. No.
So it's like,
He's-
they've
yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's short.
It's all right.
Yeah.
sure.
That's all we
yeah.
got to say.
Decent.
Agree.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take it. Then we got, ladies and gentlemen, this one is another one not written by Noel. It's called The Nature of Reality.
Ba-da-ba-ba. Oi.
Dun,
Ba-da-ba-da. Oi.
dun.
It is written by the Bellster.
The Bellster.
Yeah.
Andy Bell
Yes,
is back
yes.
at it again with his old bag of tricks.
He loves it. He's got the Helter Skelter riff at the start, which
Yes,
every
yes.
time I listen to this, got me really excited. So I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And then it goes into the main thing. I'm like, "Oh, this sucks." But God bless you, Belster. Thank you for your contribution to music.
I like it.
Oh, of course you do.
I like it.
Of course you do. Boring, if not for that rhythm. Would feel great to play on guitar,
Yeah, but you can't
but
say
it doesn't go anywhere.
boring if not for the rhythm. Like the rhythm's like one of the main reasons I like
Yeah, but
it.
so's High Horse, and that's rubbish. That's the same thing.
Yeah, but in another
Oi.
reality, I could have maybe liked that
You're
if
a-
the song was different.
You're a Belster apologist, and you need to own up to that.
yeah. Lay
Yeah,
off.
it's because you
lay
want
off
to
the
be
Bellster.
nice with him. He's like, oh, I could bump into him in a pub in Brighton and wherever.
And I'd go up
he's
to him and be like, but
Oi.
oi.
Well, that's like a riff that's been used by so many people. It's so derivative of a song, and I put it's dull. Like it's not.
dreary,
I
yeah.
think it's definitely probably the worst song on the album, in my
Oh
opinion.
no way!
I might have to agree with you. Actually, I think the next one is,
I
but that's the second worst one on the album.
yeah. I think
Because if I survived High Horse, I can't survive another High
yeah.
Horse.
I think
A
this
worse
is
High
the
Horse.
worst one. It's like, oh, let's give Andy a go.
Yeah, oh,
and we'll stick
come
it at the
on.
back, and we'll
God,
just,
look, yeah, because it is definitely.
you're never
at the
going to
back.
get to the back of this album. If you've got it on
Yeah.
vinyl, you're not going to turn it over, are you?
Lay off the Bellster.
Yeah, exactly.
God
yeah.
love him, but it's just it's not for us.
Well,
It's for the
I
boys.
like it.
Yeah. Well, good for you, and
Yeah,
hopefully
good
if
luck
they
to you and your music
if
taste.
they give Andy his time in the sun, where he plays on the B stage and does a few of his
Yeah,
songs,
yeah.
this will definitely be on there.
I'll
'cause
be
they've
wearing
only
my
got
Andy
the two.
Bell shirt as
Yeah,
well.
you got to get you one
That's
of
it.
those.
Yeah, I wonder if you can get the like cardboard masks that you get like of the Queen, Andy Bell. You must be able to
I'll
get
We'll all
made
go as
up.
Andy Bell.
Yeah,
front row at Wembley wearing Andy Bell mask. No one won't believe his eyes. But yeah, I think enough said about that.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the nature of
Thank
reality
you.
is that the reality of the song
It's
isn't
shite.
our favourites, but Adam loves it. But
yeah.
then,
I wouldn't say love it.
Okay.
Come on, don't push it.
but then we go on. Final song.
Fiesta
What
de los
triumphant song's going to close it? Little
Last
did
Oasis song. ever.
Last Oasis. Little did we know this would be the final. This is what
it.
they're going out on. This
Yeah.
is their magnum opus. This is their goodbye to the world.
So you got discography. You got Rock and Roll Stars, the first one, arguably. Soldier On.
Soldier on. We're done. Soldiering on. Which have they soldiered on? Because they're gone. But yeah,
They
Soldier
didn't
on.
soldier on.
The final track. of
Very
the album.
ironic title
It
in
very is.
hindsight.
'Cause they fucking didn't.
Yeah, they threw in the towel.
I just put, if it wasn't for High Horse, this would be the worst song on here.
Right, and
Dreary-
you just said Naturality is the worst song.
Oh, I've changed my
Oh,
mind.
come on.
Well, no, this is the worst. I can't even remember this. This is so bad. I put in bold, Dreary Repetition isn't psychedelic.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to do a bit of a psychedelic twist on
Yeah.
it or something.
I think what's like annoying about this song is it's such going out with a whimper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like especially now knowing in hindsight what we know, I know it's a sort of different view we have on it, but like, come on, lad. Like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is just such a like
Yeah.
tails off
Well, Out of
into
Time
the
should
night.
be the album closer at track 5. Just make an EP that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put in my notes I actually put very low effort closer to the album.
Yeah.
Whimper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
literally
It's going out with a
Just
whimper.
goes out. It's like, but they never catch it. They just can't stick the landing on these albums.
Yeah.
They can't start the landing either half the time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the plane's had a few miles on it. It's running out.
It's a
Need to
crash
get it
landing.
serviced,
Yeah.
for God's sake. But yeah, literally, just I've put it might be my least favourite so far. I wrote that thinking there was more tracks on the album, but then it
you
was
were
the end.
pleased.
I put second to Waiting for the Rapture. So I've got a top 3 song, but then the Belster song as well is there. It's grown
Yeah.
less on me. So that's my top 3 worst songs of the album there.
There we go,
Sorted.
yeah.
But yeah, absolutely just we
Well,
weren't to know.
No.
And if
Well,
we did know,
were we? Because as kind of Adam pointed out, that Out of Time feels like the end of something, Falling Down or whatever the other one feels like the end of something, Ain't Got Nothing feels like they're kind of summing up that the wells run dry.
yeah, I think so. But then if the well had run dry, they still released music. Noel released High Flying Birds, which is
Strange.
the same kind of stuff. It's like the end of this band is near, but I don't think they knew it was coming. I think Noel might have known it was coming. None of the other lads did.
It's interesting you mentioned Noel because it's another album where he's just been like, I'll write half of it and I'll just like, you lot write the other
I'll
half.
tell you, he's got
And that's what the second half of the album is basically everyone else having a go. And it's just like,
It's shite.
yeah, he's his heart isn't in it in the same way it was the early albums.
Yeah.
Maybe his ability of just songwriting, he just can't do it, and he's just like, get the other guys doing it. I still like the idea that he only does 2 days a week in the studio, and the other guys have to cobble together the rest of the album.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe he's like keeping ideas back for solo career. If the
Yeah.
relationship's deteriorated, because Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds did start with some good stuff.
Well, we
Started
need to
with a
do
bit of a bang,
an episode on that coming up.
which again, not to foreshadow a future episode too much, but I don't know. Maybe he was sort of like, I'll keep a couple of these in my back pocket
Interesting.
rather than waste them as track 10
He was
my
more
main-
on this
premeditated.
album. Yeah,
So I'll give it a bit, less than a year, wasn't it? He gave it, so
yeah.
yeah.
Do you think they try to appeal to an American market really hard with this? More than any other thing?
I don't know who they're trying to appeal to with this.
Because the guys that almost pioneered and pushed Britpop,
Yeah,
I don't feel like particularly British or patriotic or
Yeah.
even like a punk Sex Pistols-y kind of British. I don't get that kind of feeling.
That's
There's no
I
love
think-
songs in here. There's no acoustic songs in here unless you count the one with the big stupid rhythm on the top of it.
I think you're like that kind of. We brought it up a bit earlier, but yeah, it's an album fully of guys who, and you quoting there of what Noel said. There's nothing to say. They're just trying to work out what do we do for this album.
yeah.
Oh, I like kind of these rockier bands. That probably likes Cage the Elephant. That's probably what these got. This album
Yeah.
probably sounds like a Cage the
Yeah.
Elephant album. That's why they're supporting them or something. That's in jest. That I don't know. That's a please don't attack me for me. Just tell them nothing like Cage the Elephant. Well, I don't know. I haven't really listened to
Who
Cage
cares?
the Elephant. But yeah, they haven't got anything. They've been going. There's American influence on this. This is the Britpop.
Yeah.
This is the band.
Yeah.
They started something. They moved away from it. And it came to a point with Oasis. At this point, Oasis were like part of the furniture. There was no excitement about Oasis. They were just there.
Yeah.
And even their new music, like I'm going to say, I think this is better than some of their other albums that they released a bit earlier.
Yeah.
But it's not going to get that. People aren't going to listen because no one cared about Oasis at the time. People were fans of Oasis, but they didn't care. They were done. It was just like they were so around for so long. Who gives a shit? Oh, Oasis are there. We'll go see them. They're playing V Festival. You could always see Oasis. They guaranteed a crowd. You guaranteed a sellout.
Yeah.
But they weren't this that we know Oasis is now. Time has made them greater. They were good. They were great. Then they came into just there.
Then they had not too much.
That's how I feel about them, and I think this represents it perfectly. But please, if anyone's got anything else,
no,
if they think differently.
I don't think I do. Very underwhelming. And actually,
more underwhelming than previous efforts, or equally as underwhelming? Because again, I'll say it again. Like, I think the production and the coherence of this, despite it not being a great album, it just lends itself to like a more positive view in my head. Like if we went back to Heathen, like I couldn't tell you what was on there anymore, apart from maybe some of the singles, especially Giants, like 14 tracks. I don't know where we are in track 8. This, at least, it's like, it's coherently not amazing, but like the production is pretty punchy. It's very rhythm based. It's very groovy.
But to go back to like Noel's comments though about having nothing left to write about, but when they do like Be Here Now, they're like, right, we're just going to have it large. And I love that album, as we talked about previously. But then this is sort of the same thing where it's like, right, we want to just be like big rock. And it's like, and this is what comes out, like compared to that other period where they were like, right, we'll just go like mad and we'll just be like super big rock band. That it's like night and day. I would say.
Well, I've got a few sum ups. If you
do
a few sum ups,
getting to sum up.
I'm ready to.
A few things here. Good artwork. I think maybe not the best, but I probably like this third, fourth best of artworks.
Okay.
How do we feel about the cover?
Fine.
Yeah.
I mean, again, but compared to Giants, compared to
the orange is nice color.
Like
it's not much of a margin for.
To me, it's whatever. Like I prefer the Don't Believe the Truth album cover.
Really?
I prefer the Heathen Chemistry album cover. I prefer the Story Morning Glory album cover.
Not Heathen Chemistry, not the one within the tube with the green, horrible green tinge over it.
Yeah. I like that. I like definitely Maybe album cover. I like every album cover. Maybe it beats Giants. Like
everything beats Giants.
Yeah.
Giants
covers
worst.
are awful.
One of the worst album covers ever. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I never even thought about it. But
yeah. Well, I just think being a kind of visual learner weirdo that I am, like color lends a lot to the sound.
Yeah.
Like I tend not to like white coloured albums and things like this, which is a weird thing. But,
the white album, hate it.
Yeah, well, I love it. And the blue album, like Silent Alarm, I was always a bit cold to that because it's so white. It's my brain's a bit funny. Anyway, right, let's do there's interludes, which I feel might have been missed on previous albums. Little like walking on the beach and little like playing the studio thing.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we've had for a while.
When I was driving here, the sirens caught me off guard. I was
okay.
driving, fuck. But yeah.
And you're like, is that John Lennon?
I'm literally fed. I'm fed up with don't put fucking police sirens in your songs.
Yeah.
There's a majority of people listening to music in their car. I guarantee they're doing it to fuck with people. Like, oh, this will be funny, isn't it? It's like, yeah, it's not funny after I hear it every time. Like, when I was like, European police sirens, it still gets me. I'm like, fuck.
Man. I was looking at the marketing for this, and they sprayed pavements with spray paint, which I thought, okay, that's fine. 3 songs on the Rock Band World Tour DLC.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I bet some people got into this album through that.
Maybe,
we're all
so if you really hate yourself, go and download that.
I think we're gonna have to do it, aren't we? We're gonna have to do an episode where we play Rock Band. Yeah. Nice to hear Zach Starkey. Nice to have some drums.
Yeah.
But overall, is it really that different to all the last 3 or 4?
Was it time for star rating?
I think so, Buff.
Yeah. Shall I give mine?
I think yeah.
I'm giving this just 2 stars.
2 stars. Oof.
And it's scraping 2 stars.
2 stars. It'd be a 1.5 if we did that, but we don't.
Yeah, 2 stars from me.
Go on. I want to get the room's impression.
I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars.
I think I'm gonna have to give it
3 out of 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I was ready for like a car crash. I was ready for like this is gonna honk, and you think it does, but I think it's not the worst Oasis album, and it's consistent, and that's all I could have hoped for.
Yeah.
I never even expected that after listening to fucking Don't Believe the Truth,
Yeah.
which is all over the
All
place,
over the
like
place.
a band who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Granted, they don't have anything to say, but they picked one kind of sound
One lane.
to use
Yeah.
to do it, and it's like, okay, fair play to you.
You see, I think I would have preferred a car crash where they've tried something and they've just gone like, right, we're just trying something wild.
Yeah.
And even if it didn't work, I'd be like, look, I could see what you were doing and appreciate that.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's so middle of the road.
It is a bit middling, isn't it?
Yeah.
But listening to all their solo stuff, I can imagine if they came back, we wouldn't be getting Dig Out Your Soul Part 2.
No.
We'd be getting something else.
What would we get? Yeah.
Probably something like anything of the Liam Gallagher kind of stuff, I think. Maybe we would get this. Maybe it would just be High Flying Birds with Liam's voice on it.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know. Hopefully we don't get it. This has taught me anything. We don't need any more Oasis.
Well, we were going to talk about Ashcroft earlier, and I
Yeah.
think the big lesson we've learned from that new single of the summer is don't release any new music
Yeah.
ever. Just let the legacy be
Yeah.
the legacy and
Yeah.
just play that.
Yeah.
Don't mess it up, man.
It's better to burn out than fade away.
That's it. Thank you, Neil Young.
Kurt Cobain, actually. Kurt Cobain said that.
Yeah,
Not Neil Young.
not Neil
Kurt
Young,
Cobain
okay.
wrote that.
Yeah,
Not that
all
old
right.
fool Neil Young. But yeah.
Well, on that note,
Yeah, I think that'll
fade
do
away.
it. That's a review. We've only got basically one major album left
Yeah.
to review.
Yeah.
And you guys can guess which one that is if you've been keeping up. But we're looking forward to that. I wonder what we're going to give that one. Who knows?
we'll find out.
But anyway, guys,
More
thank
than
you.
this.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on social media. And we'll see you next time.
Mad for it.
I am